Banana. Stuart? Macareno? Banana!
Minions. Have you ever wondered where they came from?
Well, Nero, that was... I don't know what that was.
That was Minions. Do you not see the screen? Minions. It was Minions. It was the highest grossing animated non-Disney film.
But why was it? Why was it that, like...
Because it's Minions! Here's the thing, okay?
Yeah.
Look at them.
Yeah.
They are pure toyetic.
Yeah.
Now, for people who don't know, and by the way, welcome to Watchin stuff, because we totally... This movie's that...
Yeah, we want to get right to it, because they're just fucking awful.
Yeah, this is pretty abysmal. But the whole thing about toyetic, the definition, if you will, is
we didn't even explain what the show is.
I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Watching stuff.
Yeah.
We watch, and then there's stuff. Yeah, we talk about movies and crap. We do everything everyone else does on frickin' YouTube.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple and straightforward. I mean, you know.
Yeah, true. I guess.
Okay, back to my point.
Yeah.
Toyetic. The whole point of being toyetic is a property is created and constructed and designed with the idea of being able to make toys off of it.
Yeah. And that's what the Minions are. And they're just, like, they infested everything like a cancer.
I don't know.
Facebook, stores.
I don't know, by the way, if the... Okay, I don't know what came first. I don't know if it was Mighty Beans or these, but these little fuckers remind me of Mighty Beans, which was the stupid toyetic collectible bullshit.
Yeah, no, I collected Mighty Beans, actually. And that was, like, way back in the early 2000s. I collected a bunch of them.
It makes me wonder if, like, the people who worked on this movie was like, holy shit, you know what would be great?
What?
If we had a movie. Like Mighty Beans. So you want to make, like, Mighty Beans the movie?
No, we can't do that, man. It's copyrighted by somebody else. We gotta make it, but first make a good movie behind it. Then we can make our dream movie.
This was a nightmare. Like, the best way to sum up this film, and I think you'll agree with me, if you've seen the trailer, you get exactly what's being pitched.
Yep, exactly.
I mean, like, we watched this. What was, like, the first 10 minutes was literally the trailer?
Yes. And for those who haven't seen the trailer, it's basically just the Minions are evolving through time and just going with every single, like, villain of the ages. The Caveman, Dracula, Napoleon, all that. And they just end up killing each and every one of their bosses.
Isn't it weird how it's like... So we see, like, the cell splits in the beginning of the movie, and it's like, T-Rex. Oh, okay, because dinosaurs existed. Yeah. Alright, because that's something that actually happened. Yeah. Sure, great, love it.
Yeah.
All of a sudden we go to then, like, Caveman. Okay, cave people developed and existed, evolution. Great, got it. Then Dracula. What the okay, great.
Yeah.
Got it. Then Napoleon. Well, that was a real person. What the fuck? You tell us Dracula? So in the canon of the universe where Gru exists, fucking vampires are a legit 100% real thing. Which isn't surprising, because actually in the first movie, werewolves were real.
Oh. I remember that, actually.
Yeah, remember when Gru took the moon? Like, the werewolf, like, turned back into a dude?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
So now, we could finally have an epic crossover where Gru and the Minions fight werewolves and vampires.
I don't want to see that, actually.
I don't know, I kind of want to see that, actually. Like, you tell me you want to see one of these guys turn into, like, a werewolf or a vampire? I'm kind of...
They already did that in Despicable Me 2, where they turned those purple fucks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they look cool to you.
So, like, actually, I kind of like the evil purple ones. They're kind of cool looking. Like, dude, that's the thing. Okay, here's the thing about this movie as a whole.
Yeah.
You're making a film off of...
the side case.
You know what the thing is? I was like in my head. I wanted to say characters, but there is no character to them.
No.
Everyone's an archetype. So you have Kevin. Kevin's the leader. That's it. He basically tells the other two idiots what to do.
Yeah.
Stuart's the lancer, so he's basically there just to argue with Kevin. Otherwise, they would just be like, "We have to do something."
Yeah.
Shrug. We all do it, and that's that.
And he can't just have that, because then he's also the musician character who he just has a guitar with him, or
Sometimes.
yeah. And
Sometimes.
then he has no guitar with him.
Because he, like, he had like a ukulele at like the start of the movie, and then somewhere in the middle of it,
Like, oh, I forgot what to do with it.
there was like no instrument. But then all of a sudden at the end, it's like, give this fucker an electric guitar.
Yeah. And that's his whole character arc.
And then Bob's just the kid.
Yeah, he's just the kid.
Like he's the young puckish, like young Robin character.
Yeah.
Like Jiminy Jilkers,
Yeah.
Kevin, we're going on an adventure.
I want to see the world.
No one in the world should have wanted to see this.
But as you said, it's the most highest grossing anime movie outside of Disney. And it's just very hard to see why, because just
Well, is it really that hard to see why? Considering like look at their competition.
Yeah.
So we'll just assume Disney and Pixar are one thing. So we can't really consider them two different things.
Yeah.
They're one thing because it's basically the same fucking
Yeah.
company. So then the only other rivals are what? Blue Sky. So that's all the shitty Ice Age movies.
Shitty Ice Age movies, Rio movies, and
Okay, so nothing there. Sony. So what? Fucking Angry Birds and like what else? I mean.
yeah, the Hotel Transylvania movies, right?
I think so actually.
Yeah,
So
yeah, they did. So they got something with them.
yeah, but even Hotel Transylvania, which we'll probably vlog about that too, is at best like,
Yeah,
like it's and then like their other competition is fucking DreamWorks.
yeah. And they're very like hit and miss. Like,
Yeah.
they're kind of like more experimental sort of animation studio that I would say.
Yeah, well, like for every Shrek you have, or How to Train Your Dragon, you then have fucking Monsters vs. Aliens
And Turbo.
and fucking Turbo.
I actually saw Turbo. It made me sad. Not really. It's nothing in that. Just like there's really nothing in this.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like the idea. It's not that the idea to this is bad. I actually love the theoretical, like the potential movie that could have existed. Like in like Earth 3.
Yeah.
Like in Earth 3, this movie was still made, but it was like really fucking good because share it a little bit because it's clearly hitting the desk.
Yeah.
The thing about this that gets me is
Yeah.
on like Earth 3, the movie would have been, here are the minions. Here's like a young Gru interacting with them, getting to know them, and building that connection. That because if you watch the other movies, Gru clearly loves his minions.
Of course,
There's like this big connection he has to them. He loves all of them. He knows all their names. You know, it's not even just like boss and employee.
Yeah.
It's like a family kind of thing. And you could have done that. That would have been great. They didn't do that here. Instead, because it's funny because the creators are like, we want them to stand on their own.
It's basically the whole movie's just the origin story of the minions. But no one cared. No one really needed an answer to that. They just needed to be like little guys that help Gru out.
I think it was the trailer, and the trailer had said, "Did you ever wonder where minions came from?" And I remember, I was in theaters, and I remember this very, very, very vividly. Was we were sitting in theaters, and the trailer played, and it says, "Did you ever wonder where minions came from?" And my response was big out loud, "Fuck no!" And people were like, because it's like, who sat there during Despicable Me 1 and 2 and was like,
Oh yeah, those yellow jelly beans.
where did they ever come from?
Where we just came up with the better backstory to them. Like Gru made them in a lab.
My theory was always like, basically Kid Gru was like doing some kind of experiment with like a potato, and then this incidentally happened.
Yeah, cloned a bunch of potatoes and put some goggles on them and ta-da!
But think about it, like,
Yeah,
potatoes grow roots,
Yeah.
kind of like growing hair. Potatoes grow eyes around their bodies, hence 2 eyes and 1 eye.
yeah.
I hate to like brag or something, but my theory still makes more sense than like, oh yeah, evolution.
Minions always existed.
Yeah. According to the context of the movie, minions are apparently some kind of evolutionary phenomenon, and they evolved specifically to serve a big bad.
Yeah, they're sort of like leeches in the big bad sort of thing. They
parasites?
need like be like controlled.
Like, I guess you could argue it's like a metaphor for symbiosis, except there's like nothing in evolution that would. And I know this is like trying to put logic into.
Yeah, minions, but
But like the mentality of it, where it's like, if you're gonna introduce your scientific bullshit in the movie, you kind of need to sort of back it up. Otherwise, you sound like a jackass or you sound pretentious.
yeah.
So it's like it's trying to say like these things existed through evolution to specifically serve people. But what fucking catalyst caused evolution to be like, supervillains are gonna come around. They're gonna need people to do a little give and take. They need gophers, go for this, go for that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Make this happen.
Yeah, or maybe basically make them like, oh, we need to get rid of villains somehow. Maybe we just need like yellow guys to basically kill them for us.
It evens out, the ecosystem and shit.
Yeah, because if villains just ran wild, they would have just taken over everything.
They were like the locusts.
Yeah.
Of like the modern day.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing. I always thought, even when the trailer first came out, because obviously to the trailer, it fucking told you what it was. Like they just evolved and that's it.
Yeah.
Even then, when the trailer first came out, my first mentality for this really was just like, I figured Gru just created them, and that's why like they're so connected to him and like they love him because it's like, oh, he also kind of gave us all life, like sea monkeys or something.
Yeah.
And that's how I always figured it would be.
Yeah.
I didn't like really understand why this movie felt the need to be like, okay, not only are we going to give you a Minions movie, but we're going to push it as far away as possible from everything you know about this franchise you've been following.
Yeah, that's nothing to like connect to Despicable Me at all. Like the thing that we were sort of expecting was like had little Gru like in the background, just walking about, maybe just reading a newspaper, having a muffin or something like that.
There was one scene though that they actually did do that where they're at the big not San Francisco, the Orlando, Florida Villain Con. They're at the big villain convention, and at one scene as they walk by, you see a chubby little kid with his mom, and the chubby little kid looks at them. And it's little Gru, and that's it. Like that's
that's it, and that just shows like this movie is just missing the potential that it can go for.
And like even having Gru just there as like a little kid for just that one scene is almost like the creators are like, do you get it? Because
it's in the past.
Yeah, because in like 2 other movies, they're gonna go work for this little kid, but like he's gonna be like a grown man. Isn't that great foreshadowing? Not really. I mean.
Because we basically all know the answer to it. The prequel, like, sort of just defeats the purpose of that.
Yeah, like trying to hint at it is the same reason why, like, the fucking Star Wars prequel sucked. That's why you have those weird lines where, like, little kid Anakin Skywalker's like, nobody can kill a Jedi. Isn't that funny? Because when he becomes Darth Vader, all he does is he goes around and he kills Jedi. Wink, wink. It's fucking stupid. And that's the same thing with this, where it's like, look, little kid Gru, do you get it?
Yeah.
Wink. Wink.
Yeah, it's trying to seem like all intelligent and all that, when it's just really just sort of like defeating the purpose of what it's saying.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like I'm so disappointed with it because I would have loved the idea of like Kid Gru, like he's all alone, he's lonely, because like they even established in the previous movies that Kid Gru was
just alone, he like mistreated by his mother, kind of.
Yeah,
sort of
well,
thing. Like it's put down a lot.
Yeah, she puts him down, and he's sort of like derided, and he's also weird looking. I mean, he is.
Yeah, he's weird looking.
He's a chubby little egg-shaped kid with like little pipe cleaners for legs, and then he's got like a long hook nose.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's balding. If you actually saw when they were like behind him, he's got like a thinning patch right there. He's already going bald.
Yeah, he would not be popular at school.
At like 6, like I love Gru. He's like one of my currently all-time favorite characters in entertainment. But yeah, he was specifically designed to be like a little outcast.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, you could have this really good movie where it's like him, he's alone, he's at school, he's picked on, he has like no friends, so he decides, I'm gonna make some friends.
Yeah.
And he's experimenting, and then he incidentally creates, have him just create these 3.
Yeah, to start with the 3 of them.
That's fine. That would have been fine. That would have been perfect. So you start off with like little Gru, he's got like these 3 little guys, and it's him, and then he has a rival who would grow up to be another supervillain.
Yeah, exactly. And we just have like each one of the 3 characters based on like maybe part of Gru's personality. Like Bob could just be like his childlike innocence. Kevin could just be like his leadership skills and all that.
And quality.
And I don't know what Stuart would be, honestly.
Well, Gru has mad dancing skills. Actually, that was established in the other films.
So, I guess he's just the comedic one, really.
Wouldn't it have been better if it was like leadership, imagination, and then mechanical ingenuity?
Yeah, something like that. That would actually be intelligent.
Instead, it's like, here are 3 minions. They go to America, so I guess it's supposed to be like an immigrant story, kind of?
In the 70s.
In the 70s, because,
Yeah, the 70s.
Because Gru had to be a kid. Yeah. So, the only way this would fucking work then is like...
It was in the 70s. But then they just punch it down your freaking throat with all the references.
Like, everything's like, monkeys, get it? It's the 70s. Tie-dye clothes, get it? It's the 70s. But
Beatles.
Beatles
Beatles rocking around.
It's the 70s. I'll give the movie credit. No drug reference. Like, no pot, no getting high.
Yeah, I don't think they would want to, like, go there with being a kid's movie and all that.
Oh, no, have you ever seen Alice in Wonderland? I mean, it's... the whole fucking
Well, they
thing is-
didn't. Well, they didn't reference drugs specifically. Like it was just like made by somebody who was on drugs.
possibly. And like the thing is, the premise for this seemed there was potential there for a story. Instead of what we got was they come to America, they decide they go to VillainCon, and at VillainCon they find like she's like the coolest villain I guess of the time period.
Yes, Scarlet. Yes, Scarlet.
Scarlet Overkill.
Yeah.
And then there's her husband Herb Overkill.
Yeah.
And she's supposed to be, which is weird by the way. They didn't do anything with this in the movie, but they mentioned like Scarlet throws this line out because it's the 70s.
Yeah.
She's like, everyone says a female villain couldn't do the same thing a man could do. They went nowhere with that.
Yeah.
It was just like, why bring that up?
Girl power.
Like, I guess
Yeah.
to be like, see, look, a female supervillain could do anything
Yeah.
a male supervillain. Instead, it's just like, bring it up.
Yeah.
The significance to bringing it up?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's the 70s.
Yeah. Yeah. We just have power and all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
so they go and work for her, and it's pretty humdrum. Basically, she's like, it's how you expect it to be because
Yeah.
they're freaking minions. So she looks at them. I need you guys to go steal the crown from the Queen of England.
Yeah.
Shrug. Okay, let's go steal the crown. They go.
Yeah, they got like bibbity bobble around them, like saying their minion talk and all that.
That's so annoying, by the way. Like the whole movie is.
I know. I was
Is this-
dreading it. It's like the first 10 minutes of it. I really just wanted to stab my throat with the fork I had at the time.
I think honestly, the fact that the way this movie opens is they're singing the universal fanfare
Yeah.
in those minion voices. And here's the thing. It's not that the voices are terrible. They're great for cute little characters for like small
Yeah.
bits. Having this for an hour and 35 minutes though is fucking annoying.
Yeah, it really is. I can't even understand how like kids would really like it for an hour and a half. Like even me as a kid, I just got annoyed. I would get annoyed after a while.
Part of me wants to know too, like, obviously the other two films were made for maybe I'd say 7 and up.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So was this intended for like a much younger audience for how it's like handled?
Yeah, it's really weird because I'm not even sure about that because they do like a lot of like weird like they put like thongs in there, like really tight butt shots.
Yeah,
and all that.
like the jokes are very random. Like they don't know what the audience is because it's like they talk in their cute little minionese
Yeah.
like language, and it's like, oh, okay, so it's made for like little kids, and then it's like thong shot. There's a scene where Scarlet, when she's flying, she goes and she pulls up her breasts
Yeah.
to fit because she's wearing her dress, and you're just like,
Yeah, because you all know all 7-year-olds are just like, those are some nice boobies.
watch the kids gonna come out of there. Thanks for bringing me to Minions, Mom. I really appreciate it. This was a quality, top-notch film.
You're not my child. Get out of here.
Gotta go. And then all of a sudden he puts like a Cuban cigar in his mouth and he just drives away. And it's like, my baby boy's going off to do horrible things in life, like possibly making Minions too.
Yeah.
I bet this will get a sequel.
It probably will. It was the highest grossing one they got. They have money to burn now.
I wonder if it was bigger than the two Despicable Me movies. Actually,
have-
I never checked that. Actually, like all I remember is like this was the highest grossing
Yeah.
non-Disney
Yeah.
animated film. That's it.
Well, they are doing well enough. They're doing Despicable Me 3. And I'm sort of excited for that, but sort of not as well, because with Despicable Me 2, I liked it, but it's just sort of like, they were just kind of like starting with the Minions like pouring in.
Oh, yeah.
Like that was like when the Minions were starting to get like really popular.
You want like the preview of what this movie turns into?
Yeah.
Watch Despicable Me 2, and anytime the Minions just like anytime a scene stops, whatever the story is with Gru's doing,
Yeah.
whenever that stops, whenever Gru's doing something and it just stops and it focuses on look at the Minions doing some kind of antic for like 5 minutes, they took that and
Yeah.
stretched it for an hour and 35 for this.
And that just makes it unbearable, because even in the second movie, I was just like, oh yeah, those are just funny.
Because
funny
it'll
little
go,
bits.
it'll leave, and then you'll be like, oh, here's Gru again.
Yeah, because you basically have those things like, oh, it'll go. But when you're going back to where you're going, it's going back to the 3 Minions you don't even care about.
And that's the thing, like, throughout the movie, it's like, they go on this adventure, no one has any character whatsoever outside of, like, the base
Yeah.
archetype. And then they have the gall, though, to, like, cut back to the tribe, and it's
Yeah.
like, what's the tribe doing? Nothing. They're singing and dancing and talking in that little voice and doing, like, little minion antics. It's,
Yeah, and they're just calling us like, hey, get over here, guys. Come over here and meet us. Okay, we'll just travel across the country then. And just have a documentary film and just shoot everything we do.
yeah, and it's boring, is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, the biggest detriment to this was boring.
It really was, because it's really just the same 3 jokes over and over again. minions going ba-ba-dee-woo, ba-ba-ba-woo. And basically, we kill our villains.
Yeah, they're like, well, we're working for somebody. Kill.
It's like, we don't really care, but let's just get the heck out of here.
Yeah, and that's the thing where it's like, then you have them working for Scarlet and Herb. Scarlet and Herb start off entertaining, and then
because they're sort of like this touchy-feely sort of villain couple, like they're super.
It's the '70s, so they're kind of like flowing with everything and like the emotions and stuff. Because they're almost like hippies, but not really hippies. Like they couldn't go full hippie.
Yeah.
Which sucks because if they did this, like what we were thinking of, wouldn't it have been great to see like Hippie Guru?
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine like, hello, minion? He's got like the long flowing dreadlocks, and you're like, what?
Wow.
You're like, what the hell? And he's got like the little glasses on. He's got like tighter clothes on. He's like, minions, we're gonna do it good. And it's like he's like super groovy, and then it's great because then you can have like the experiment where his hair like falls out. It's like he's just bitter and resentful. And then he starts wearing like the all black, and you're like, oh, that's how he got to that point.
Yeah. That would have been funny.
Again, could have been something interesting.
Yeah, but then they really don't do anything with Scarlet. They sort of like threw her under the bus character-wise by giving her first no character.
Well, who's selling the movie? You know, like.
Yeah. Well, they didn't give characters to those three either.
Isn't it weird, by the way? Like, they're working for the antagonist of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that a little weird?
They don't really have any like choices in the movie. They basically just go, "Oh my God, villains! Yes, we'll lick your shoes and all that. Please just beat us and just tell us what to do."
Yeah, like that's like the whole thing was like, it's almost not even a movie. It's almost just like this verbatim idea of like a coloring book mentality of like, you know, you got to connect the dots of. Well,
the minions started here, and we have to get them here. How do we do that?
Yeah, but how do we get them over here? Crayon scribbles. There you go. We did it.
Yeah.
5 out of 7. Keep it in the armor. It's really good.
Yeah, like spinning that to Scarlet. How do we get it from the like then with Scarlet, who's like the top villain of everything?
Which is funny. Which is funny. Don't you love, by the way, for a movie that's pushing Scarlet as like the top villain of everything,
she sucks.
She doesn't do anything.
Yeah. She first just orders these three to steal the crown, and they do it, and she goes, "What? You stole the crown from me? How dare you?"
I don't understand this. You sent them out on a job.
Mm-hmm.
They performed the job. Admirably, by the way, because they did get it done.
And I'll kill you now.
And then on top of that, they steal the crown.
Yeah.
She gets upset because she's like, oh, I wanted to steal the crown. I wanted to overthrow London. I wanted to steal it from the Queen of England. And I wanted to be the one in charge. She shows up. She's angry with them. They flat out just say, here's Excalibur. Here's the crown. You're the queen. Yeah. We even legitimately changed the law so you could be the queen. So it's like, wow, you literally got everything you wanted. And she's like, yeah, I fucking hate you guys. Why? You literally... Do you understand, actually, this proves how adept they are at being minions then? Because you sent them out for a job... if anything, they're probably the best minions then in terms of animation, because if you think about it, if you like look back, it's like, well, let's look back at like Disney movies. Huntsman, go kill Snow White. Didn't do it. Okay, Pain and Panic, go kill Hercules. I didn't do it.
Yeah. These guys are the most successful, probably animated minions that we've ever seen.
Go steal the royal crown of the Queen of England. Here you go. By the way, you didn't tell us to do this, but we got you fucking Excalibur. It's like the legendary sword of King Arthur. We know you didn't ask for it, but...
Yeah, I became king, and I can easily pass it on to you now. We got you even more that you wanted.
And that's like... This movie is just... I want to say directionless.
I would say directionless, because the only direction it wants to go is like, we need to get the minions with Gru. But they really don't have any idea of like how to really do that.
I think what it comes down to is because... They didn't change the characters at all between films. If this is them coming into their stead of being subservient to a big bad, then there really should have been some sort of like lean into them.
Yeah.
And becoming subservient to a big bad.
Yeah, that sort of just like puts them in a really disadvantage when they're subservient to someone. They don't really make any choices like in this narrative or anything.
Subservient characters like minions aren't main character material, because the main characters are characters who make decisions, they interact with everything, they choose to do things.
You know, these guys run around and do, it's like, okay, you find us a big bad? Where's a big bad? Oh, over in Orlando? Over in England? Let's just go there, because we're just being told where to go.
Like, that's not storytelling. That's basically the equivalency of, like, a giant, like, pencil should have came down and nudged them and been like, hear the voice of the writer, and he's like, hey, hey. No, shut up. Shut up. Go there. Go there. I'm gonna serve the big bad. Jab, jab, jab. And that because that's really it. Because they're not characters. They're fucking minions. It's in the goddamn title. Their only purpose is to serve another character.
Yeah.
So when you make a movie where they're the main characters, it's not impossible to make a movie from like the henchman's perspective, but this fucking sucked at it.
Yeah.
Because all they did was like, oh, we're just gonna go from here to here, serving this, serving that, and it's like, okay, but do you really honestly make like decisions yourself? And it's like, no, basically, if another bigger, better bad came along while we're still serving a person, we'll just go to that one then.
Yeah, just like have it at the very end, like Scarlet gets captured by Gru in his freeze frame, because that was like the coolest portion of the movie, really. And they're just like, oh, Scarlet's already captured. Gru!
Yeah, like
they were kissing Scarlet's boots even until the end.
Like, remember when I even said to you when we started watching it, where I had said, why didn't they just tie this into them being with Kid Gru from the get-go? And instead it was like, whole movie, nothing, and then we get to the end and I say, I hope Gru like hits her with like a freeze beam or something, and then all of a sudden, oh, thank God. And then a little Gru comes up, yanks the crown out of her hand, and she looks at her, that's my crown, I'm the greatest villain ever. Oh, what are you? I don't think so. Leaves, and it's like,
that was funny. That should have been what the movie was about.
Heck, you could have just done a movie with like Kid Gru trying to screw over adult villains. Yeah. Like that would have been it, or him like trying to find his mentor.
Yeah, it could have still been called the Minions movie. Like it's just Gru making the Minions. And
actually, that's the thing. That's another thing. Because it's the Minions movie, and I just thought about this. If you remember, Gru had a mentor. In the other two films. What if Minions wasn't just referring to just them, but it's Gru being mentored by the other villain?
Yeah, as a minion. Like, Gru starts off as a minion, but then just realizes, like, I want to be the big bad, like, the super big thing,
That could have been interesting. Instead, you get something that... This clearly doesn't work as a movie because you have characters... Characters, asterisk quote.
A bunch of asterisks just stretching out forever.
Yeah, for all an eternity. It's like a Mobius strip. Like, the thing is with this, because they're so bland, they're just responsive to everything, being basically told of where to go or what to do, as opposed to really trying to make their own creative decisions. Like the biggest decision they made was, we should leave the tribe.
Yeah, we should leave the tribe, go out the cave. Like, that could have been, like, a big thing. That was sort of with the narrator just going, like, and then Kevin decided to go out of the cave.
That was another thing that was annoying, is, like, in the opening was... I love Jeffrey Rush as an actor. Phenomenal. Love him in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, he's got a very good, deep voice.
Oh, yeah. He sounds great and classy.
But we didn't need him in this. Like, just having him just go on, like, speaking what everything was happening.
He basically just tells you, like, instead of them...
Like emoting.
Just emoting and being, characters.
Yeah, because they did that throughout the entire movie. We knew exactly what they were doing, what they were thinking.
Yeah, but it felt like there had to be like a narrator that's like, I'm gonna hold your hand so you can understand.
Yeah, you need to know what's going on,
because you're a kid. Yeah. You're like a little kid watching this.
I am. I don't understand anything about like subtext or anything.
And the thing that annoys me about that is like, well, it's a little kid movie, and it's like, yeah, but you know what? So was WALL-E, and WALL-E barely had dialogue, and it's fantastic. It does everything through just, like, pantomiming and emotion.
Yeah, we just know this is like a cute little robot just wanted you to get involved with another robot. It's just super simple like that. Like, this could be just like that.
Well, this is simple. I mean, these guys want to work for a bad guy. It's not like it's fucking deep or meaningful. Like, the premise is, here are a bunch of little dudes. They want to work for a big bad.
Yeah, that's it.
The thing is, too, just that premise, though.
Yeah.
Like, pitching this deal, right? Here are a bunch of little guys, they want to work for a big bad. Don't you think that would have worked better as, like, tiny vignettes of them working for different bad guys? As opposed to...
Yeah, we were just discussing that. Like, maybe if you, like, cut the movie up into, like, maybe 10 bits, like, edit out all the crap from it, and that would have been much better.
Yeah, instead of having scenes where it's like them... They're just dancing or singing, and it goes nowhere, it does nothing.
Yeah, dude does all those 70s songs, their bop-doop-bop, so voices, and...
Like, if you actually did, like, a movie, you could still do a full feature-length film, it's not impossible, and do, like, 5 stories about, I don't know, maybe roughly 15 minutes apiece a little bit?
Yeah, just basically Minions, the anthology series.
Yeah, and then you have it, like, here are different points in their life. Like, here's them starting in the beginning. Then you have it like this is then you have the final segment. It's like, where are they now? Serving Gru.
Yeah, like you just have like the first segment, just like they're evolving through the ages and all that. The second story could just be, I don't know, maybe these three just coming out as like the bigger portion of the whole tribe and all that. Then third, fourth, and fifth could just be with them, like with the bigger bats, basically shift their personalities and all that, make them more subservient and all that. Want to find like the biggest, baddest one, and then finally with Kid Gru, or just screw it, just make the first one about their evolution and the 4 other ones with Kid Gru.
Yeah, because like really, you could have done so many interesting things. Because it could have been like how they get it. Like if we did it like the anthology, have them created by Kid Gru. Like in the lab, he creates them because you use that to establish like Gru's lonely. He wanted friends. He creates them.
All that jazz.
All that jazz. And the thing is too is that makes the movie more relatable to people because for a lot of us we've felt that like we don't connect with people at a young age because we're all sort of like emotionally distant, I guess, or we're all a little have a little social awkwardness. So having that with Gru, it's like, oh shit. That's kind of relatable.
Yeah, I feel that social awkwardness sometimes. I feel like I want more friends and all that.
And like the metaphor to that is like, well, how regular kids create, imaginary friends? Well, when you're like a prodigy and a super genius,
you make literal friends.
You make actual friends.
Yeah.
You make that your first story. And then you have like the other 4 just break it up. Gru like being like bullied in preschool, establish his rivalry with another person that's going to grow up to be another villain. Then have him in elementary school and see where it goes from there. Then middle school and then high school. Yeah. Have a hilarious bit with him in college.
Yeah.
Because I honestly, I'm just kind of curious of what Gru was like in college. Like I want to know if he was like. Do you think in his mind he's like, I was the cool guy on campus, and like the real thing's like, the real thing he was like the biggest loser on campus that nobody liked. Like that's the thing. By all means, this isn't bad on its own. It could be fantastic.
Like the idea of it could actually work.
Yeah,
we're not saying it's like it's completely like hopeless sort of thing. Like maybe at the beginning I was just thinking like, oh no, this idea has no sort of like credence to it.
It has no credence to it in the sense that, and honestly, I'll give you this because we did watch it. This idea doesn't have credence to it if it's an hour and 35-minute long movie.
This idea has no credence to it.
This had no credence to it. But if you did it in segments or, hell, honestly, a TV show, this probably would have worked.
Yeah.
Like, it probably would have worked better.
And maybe just made it like the movie version of like the little Gru growing up and all that, and just the minions in the background. Like, focus on an actual character who can actually make choices.
That's the thing that weirds me out is like, the from the get-go, even with the second movie where they were clearly trying to push these characters for marketability more,
pushing it hard,
pushing it real hard. The thing is, Gru is a character. His kids are characters. His mentor is a character. Even his mother, who barely has screen time, still has a character.
Yeah.
It's bitch mom, pretty much. But
you know exactly where each one of them falls in like the character chart and all that. The minions don't really fall anywhere on it.
No, that's why it's like. The reason why, like, you watch the other movies and Gru's constantly throwing out names like Kevin, Stuart, Phil, Bob, it's because it's inconsequential. They're not really characters. It's just funny that these little creatures that run around his, like, big, giant lab...
Yeah, just have the most, like, stereotypical, like, bland names and all that.
They have, like, really common names. They don't have, like, really weird sounding names. It's not like Glorbox or something like that. It's, like, the most common names, like Carl, Phil, Bob, Kevin, Frank. And that's what makes it funny. It's like... Oh, that's kind of cute because
they're just ordinary sort of things.
Yeah, like it's just like think they would have like at least like maybe just numbers.
Yeah, but put an X in front in their name somewhere.
Yeah, like
you can see like where they get the cuteness from, but cuteness is very good at like very small doses sort of thing.
Like having a character just be like cute. That's like Mort from Penguins of Madagascar. That stupid sugar glider. Like the whole fucking character is like. It's
I'm cute.
Like the whole joke is, it's cute. Isn't that a good joke? No.
Like people like cute things.
That's like saying "kick me" sign. It's funny, cause it's a sign that sticks to your back.
Yeah, but no one's kicked me at all. Like there's no like sort of like punchline to it.
No, it's like a setup that goes nowhere, and that's means in a nutshell. It is a movie that goes nowhere.
With just like repetitive jokes and just all that sort of stuff. It's just nothing really at the end of the day.
Honestly, even acting wise,
you can't really act.
You can't really even give like a degree of like capability because it's like
Yeah, like
minions are doing. They're doing.
They, like level out. Like, how well did Kevin say his bippity boppity lines, or Bob said his like blah 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 blah.
And that's the thing, because it's just it's honestly it's just meant to be
Yeah,
gibberish.
gibberish.
That's the point. There's like nothing like even the characters who did talk, like, oh god, was it Sandra Bullock was
Yeah, yeah.
Scarlet
Yeah,
Overkill,
Bob, yeah.
and John Hamm
Yeah.
was Herb Overkill. It's like, you guys were okay. You guys didn't suck.
Yeah,
I mean,
like, you did the best you could with your script because it was kind of like written to like defeat yourself, sort of thing.
that and like, you guys were constantly pushed back for this, and I know they're the main characters. It's their story. I get that, but if you're gonna have characters that don't really have unique personalities, and then you introduce characters who do you realize how fucked up that is? It's like in Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland was the same thing, where it's like, here's the Mad Hatter. Oh shit, he's interesting and eccentric. Yeah, here's Alice.
Hi everybody, I'm Alice. I don't know if I'm in a magical land or not.
Alice. I'm like magical and whimsical. No,
I'm just dreaming. Well, wake me up sometime.
Yeah, and that's what this is like, because you're introduced to Herb and you're introduced to Scarlet, and it's like, oh, okay, we got something here.
Yeah.
There's something kind of interesting. Yeah, but we're gonna keep putting these in front of you. But these don't really have characters. Their whole point is that they're gonna be subservient to these other two slightly more interesting characters.
Yeah, and the only way, and the only way we can have that sort of like climactic showdown sort of thing, it's like that we just like artificially make it. We just artificially make Scarlet like, oh my god, I hate them now that they gave me everything I wanted. How dare they?
Yeah, there's like nothing to that. Like, it just happened.
Yeah, because they gave her everything they wanted. But you can't really just make a climax with that.
How do we sum it up? It was like if Gru said, "Go get me the moon." They went and got the moon, and he still throws a bitch fit about it.
It's like, how dare you like capture it in a giant bubble? I wanted you to shrink it for me. Ah,
And it's
no.
like, does it matter? You said you wanted the moon. You got. Who cares about the method of how it got done? You fucking got it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with like Cindy Scarlet. She's like all pissed, like, I didn't get to overthrow the Queen of England.
You basically
well,
did, really.
Here's my question: if you wanted to overthrow the Queen of England, why the fuck did you send them to get the crown? Why didn't you go get it?
Yeah. They are minions after all.
So at that point, you look at it and you're in your brain, the analysis you come to conclusion wise is, so did she just send them so that they would fail? Because like, you're upset that they achieved the goal.
Yeah, I really don't know what her actual goal was, really, because
She got her goal. She said, "Bitch, I want to be the fucking Queen of England."
Well, it's just more thinking that like, why would she be angry about the goal? Like, it's
Because she's fucking crazy, I guess, or stupid.
Probably stupid.
So, 1 to 10, where does this lie for you? Because
10?
everyone does 1 to 10s. I
Yeah,
guess
sure.
we'll do 1 to 20. 1 to 10.
I don't know. I want to be like nice to it and say almost like 5 out of 10. Like,
Because there were parts that were funny.
3 really.
Yeah, but
3.
3, like there was the one. Hold on, wait. Shut. Wait, no. They're worth like 3. Hold on.
We gotta really remember these.
Where Kid Gru beat Scarlet, stole the crown,
Yeah.
and took off in his badass motorcycle that was also a jet plane.
That's the very end.
So that's at the very, very, like, literally that's like the last minute of the movie.
Yeah.
That's 1. Where Professor Flux... okay,
yeah.
there was this genius scene.
Yeah.
This was genuinely, legitimately clever. Professor Flux, they meet this guy at the Villain Con. Professor Flux is a supervillain who time travels, right? That was his whole deal. He goes back in time and takes his future self to the present, and he built like a small group of him to do things. But one of his future selves accidentally kills the original, and then they all disappear from existence.
That was hilarious.
That was hilarious and brilliant for, like, if you're a fan of science fiction,
yeah.
that is really funny.
And also a little bit dark and next to like.
Yeah, like you see him and his like neck snaps and he dies and they're like, oh no, we killed the original. Everyone disappears and you're like, oh, shit.
And whatever one of the minions was there, it's like, I'm not here.
Oh, no, and then at VillainCon, this was the only other thing we left. Bob had his teddy bear because Bob's whole character is he's a child.
Oh, yeah.
So remember, he goes up to the woman for a job, and she goes, "We're not looking for minions or teddy bears."
Like,
so he takes the paper.
Little bear, yeah.
Yeah, so he takes like a piece of paper and he cuts it up and makes a scary mask and he like wiggles it in front of her to look more terrifying. And we're like, that's cute and funny. And that was about it.
Number 3. So, I guess to be nice, I would just say 5, but realistically, I would say more on 3. Sort of thing. It's not really worth any sort of recommendation, really. It's
I'm gonna give
really
it the
boring.
rating of dirt. Like it's not. I know it's not really a number. I know. But
that's a word, actually.
Yeah, it is. Yes, but I'm gonna give it a rating of dirt because I want to bury this in my backyard.
Good.
Thanks for watching.